Firefighters are thought of as heroes, spending time fighting fires and saving lives. But in Hillsborough County, about 5% of the firefighters are spending time on working for their union, including campaigning for county commissioners they believe will give them favorable contracts. Does that concern you?
Firefighters need to be in their stations with their staff.
But that's not the case for Union President Derek Ryan, who is paid more than $100,000 in salary and benefits from taxpayers as a firefighter. But Ryan hasn't worked as a firefighter in more than 2 years. Instead, he works full-time as union president on your dime. Derek, hey, tell me, how do the taxpayers benefit when you are... That's all we could get from Ryan, who's spending his time campaigning for commissioners, working to get more benefits, higher pay, and a contract that doesn't require him to work as a firefighter or even go into a station. We went to County Commission to ask, how can this be?
Had no knowledge that he was not going into a station.
All of the commissioners, you guys voted for a contract that allows him to not be in a fire station at all, do 24/7 union business.
It doesn't demonstrate good leadership on his part to interpret his contract that way.
But Commissioner Al Higginbotham is wrong. There's no interpretation. The commissioners, some of whom were helped by the union, voted for the contract.
Motion carried 7-0.
And the contract allows Ryan to shed his firefighter duties and work for the union on his own schedule every day. Administrator Mike Merrill never mentioned that before the vote.
No commissioner asked me the question. If they had, I would have certainly informed them.
And Merrill also didn't explain how the contract further puts the taxpayers on the hook for union business. Hillsborough firefighters are permitted to take what's called union leave. Then another firefighter fills in, getting overtime at a rate of time and a half. Oftentimes, the union business lasts only a couple of hours, but the firefighter on union leave spends a full 24-hour shift away from the station, all, once again, on the taxpayer's dime.
If they're doing that in violation of the contract, then we should be taking some sort of disciplinary action. If you have records of it, a county attorney's office could go through it and say yea or nay.
Not only do we have the records, so does the county. In fact, that's where we got these records. And they show Union Vice President Kenny Forward took 852 hours of union leave last year. That's 18 weeks away from the job. And the other union officers each took an extra 12 weeks away from their shifts. All on your dime.
Okay, listen up. Taxpayers are getting hosed, so to speak, by the Hillsborough County Firefighter Union, which lied to officials and has allowed some firefighters to get paid while not going to work.
Now, the county had absolutely no idea how bad it was until 10 Investigates' Mike Deason started running the numbers.
Welcome to the North Tampa Little League baseball practice, where coaches are diligently working to get the field in shape for the kids.
That is not right. And if that's the way that we're playing the game, then the rules need to be changed. Hillsborough Commissioner Victor Christ isn't talking about the game on the field, but the game the firefighter union appears to be playing with taxpayer dollars. 10 Investigates found Captain Jay O'Driscoll coaching his son's Little League team while on the clock. Regardless what you call it, it doesn't smell right.
It may not pass the smell test, but under the union contract, firefighters are getting paid for what's called union leave. They get paid as much as 24 hours to do union business, even if they don't need that much time, and in this case, coaching a Little League game, all on the taxpayer's dime.
I need my firefighters on their A game anytime that they're at them fire stations.
Union President Derek Ryan allows the firefighters to take the entire 24-hour shift off instead of going back to work because he says the union meetings are stressful.
So they can go and relax and enjoy their family and be prepared for their next duty day.
But there's a cost to the county for allowing union members to relax while the clock is ticking. 10 Investigates uncovered the $668,000 budgeted for union leave over the past 5 years actually cost taxpayers almost $850,000. We brought it to the attention of County Administrator Mike Merrill.
A not very pleasant chapter in the history of fire rescue.
After we made numerous records requests, the county admitted it had no idea about the wasted money until 10 Investigates uncovered the hidden numbers.
And I appreciate that you did that, because in fact, it's true, the administration at that time was not being straight with me.
And that's part of the reason money budgeted for new firefighter equipment had to be used to cover overtime, which broke the bank.
I mean, to be honest, I don't think we're going to recover it all. But
I would agree.
You know, and then take whatever other disciplinary action is warranted. So.
Meantime, Commissioner Victor Chris says those responsible have to be held accountable and policies need to change.
There's a lot of questions here, and they're going to have to be answered. They're going to have to be answered to the commissioner, they're going to have to be answered to the taxpayer.
Things are already happening. The former fire chief has been demoted, and several others could be in trouble for covering up the numbers and totally blowing the budget for union time off. Meantime, earlier today, Administrator Mike Merrill sent a memo to all county commissioners explaining what we uncovered and warning them about this story. We expect strong reaction.
You've heard the phrase, do as I say, not as I do.
Well, that could be the motto for the Hillsborough Fire Department when it comes to code inspection.
As 10 Investigates Mike Deason has discovered, many of the county's own fire stations do not meet the fire code, and some of the violations are putting firefighters in danger.
While firefighters obviously fight fires, fire prevention is a major focus of the Hillsborough Fire Department.
Our main goal is compliance. We don't want to come in and strong-arm anybody.
However, Hillsborough Fire Marshal Tammy Zerla says it is imperative that homes and businesses like Galaxy International, a granite company, meet fire code.
They came here and they told me how big of a deal it was for me to be in compliance.
But 10 Investigates uncovered the Hillsborough Fire Department doesn't play by its own rules. We found 40 of 42 stations didn't meet fire code, with more than 380 violations, some dating back to 2009.
It must have been like a, how could this be moment.
It was a how could this be moment.
Zerla was promoted to fire marshal just this past year.
We checked to make sure it's easily opened.
And found violations, including fire alarm deficiencies, stations without fire sprinklers, problems with smoke alarms, bunk rooms with no secondary means of escape.
And I'm not exaggerating when I say some of the issues you found could put firefighters in danger if there was an incident.
Well, the codes are put in place based on loss of life and property, so they're in there for a reason.
It wasn't until this story came out that I knew the magnitude of the issues. That had never been brought to my attention in a comprehensive manner.
Former Chief Ron Rogers, who was demoted in April following 10 Investigates reports about inefficiencies in the department, had been in charge for the past 4 years.
How could you not be aware of it?
The previous fire marshal had never brought this to my attention.
But 10 Investigates has learned that the former fire chief could have extinguished this firestorm years ago. This memo shows that the head of the safety committee brought the issue to the attention of the former chief in 2011, but nothing was done.
They weren't looking at things like fire safety. That was never brought to me by the safety committee.
But this memo indicates Rogers was told about code problems, which could still be exposing Hillsborough firefighters to hazardous incidents, as 30% of the stations are not fully compliant with sprinkler systems. But for business owner Ryan Weathers, who is being fined $250 a day for code violations, now totaling to more than $10,000, it is the height of hypocrisy.
If you're going to make a rule and everybody else has got to live by it, then whoever made the rules got to live by it as well.
The department is giving the stations until January to come into compliance. Meantime, the sprinkler system issue is a major concern for the department, not only because of safety, but also because of the cost, which is expected to be hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that's currently not in the budget.